are listening to episode 55 of Behind the BS with special guest, Aren't You Funny? Enjoy. Today's podcast is brought to you by RespawnProducts. RespawnProducts.com/Mystic Mike. Live to play another day. What's up, everyone? Mystic Mike here with Behind the BS, Behind the Broadcasting Software, and today's guest is Aren't You Funny? How you doing today, Funny?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I am doing excellent. Do you mind if I call you Funny, or do you want me to call you Aren't?
Absolutely. Whatever works for you, man.
Whatever works for me.
I've gone by Funny, Aren't You Funny, ArentUFunny, like
ArentUFunny. Oh yeah, I see that now. ArentUFunny.
Yeah, that's one of my friends. He likes to be a little snarky, so
it's always fun to have one of those guys or gals.
Absolutely.
Excellent. So what we'll get you to do first, Funny, is I'll get you to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what you do, a little bit about your streaming, and then we'll kind of flow from there.
Sure. So I'm Aren't You Funny, as you said. I'm a variety broadcaster on Mixer. My day life is completely different. So I'm a mental health therapist with kids and families.
Oh, nice.
And so I work with basically anybody from like 6 to 25 throughout the day. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like a therapist by day and a streamer by night kind of thing. So, but yeah, and I do a huge variety of gameplay on Mixer. So I could do anything from an RPG to a battle royale to basically anything but like a platformer or probably not so many fighting games. Maybe Tekken.
Oh, maybe
Tekken. About it.
No more Combat 11.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat's a struggle. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
it's not the same as it was when we were younger.
No, it is not. And even then, I sucked. I thought I was good because I could button mash with the best of them.
Yeah.
But I played Tekken and I was like, oh wow, I really suck at Mortal Kombat, but I will kill you in some Tekken. Like,
that is awesome. And how long have you been streaming for?
Right. So so funny story about that. So I started on Twitch, and my first broadcast was probably like, I don't even know. It was so I literally did a broadcast for a friend just so that I could show him UFC 2, I think. It was probably like Undisputed days. So I showed him that, and then I didn't stream actually for another year or so. And then I streamed for about 3 years on Twitch, and I think that I'm getting close to a year on Mixer if I haven't hit it already.
Oh, nice.
So
you got a little experience.
A little bit, yeah.
So why did you make the switch from Twitch to Mixer?
So I'm not sure if you're familiar with much of the Twitch community, but Professor Broman, I don't know if you've heard that name thrown around or not.
It sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah, he's really big in like the Destiny directory, and he's branched out from there. He's really big in Borderlands and that kind of stuff. He started out speedrunning. Basically, I talked to him at some point, and he and several other people in podcasts that I listened to and all that were talking about Mixer and about how it was like on the rise and about how it was it still had that small community feel, but it was expanding and it was growing and it was showing a lot of promise. And so I was like, well, might as well go ahead and give it a shot. So I basically started over here and found some people that I like, found some cool things going on here. So I was like, well, I'll stick around and see what it's like.
Nice. And how are you finding it so far between the two?
I love Mixer. The main thing that strikes me, even though Twitch now has low latency, I still think that FTL technology with Mixer is just irreplaceable.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause it's, even with the low latency, there's still that delay between, chat and what you're seeing. And so there's kind of that awkward pause in conversation, especially if people are like responding for a little bit and then all of a sudden it goes dead.
Yeah.
So it just kind of throws things off. Whereas Mixer, it's a lot more like a conversation. So it feels a lot smoother. I like that a lot.
It flows a lot better. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just the community in Mixer is really nice too. I was a little concerned starting out because I hadn't run into many people that I felt like were really in it to stream. They were in it for various other reasons that I feel like may not necessarily be the best, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But then I ran into Michelle, And when I ran into Michelle, I was like, hey, she's pretty solid.
Michelle's awesome.
Yeah. And so then Michelle led me to you, and I was like, hey, like this is the community I was looking for. Like, these are the people that I was looking to surround myself and enjoy.
Yeah.
So since then, that's made a huge difference. So
It's awesome. Michelle's like, I met Michelle, like, I think 2 weeks into my streaming, and
nice.
That was just a little over a year ago now. And she's been awesome. I can't say enough good things about her.
Yeah, I absolutely love Michelle. She's fantastic.
Now, I know you said you're a mental therapist. What advice would you give to streamers in regards to helping their mental state when it comes to streaming, if you can?
Ooh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So while I do have clear boundaries about like what I do and don't talk about on stream, as far as that's concerned, my disclaimer is like, while I may be a therapist, I'm not your therapist.
Exactly.
So like, don't expect that. But yeah, as far as like general advice, I got no issue with that. I think there's a couple of big things, and I'm good at talking about this. I'm not always the best about practicing it.
Yeah, that's always the hard part.
Yeah, so don't look at me and say, "Oh, well, I'm going to look at this guy and see if he follows his own advice." I'm not the best at that, but I'm working on it.
Do as I say, not as I do.
yeah, that's exactly it. So I think probably the biggest things are not being afraid to stand up for yourself. Because I think a lot of the times, and this is something that I've heard so many people talk about, is like, especially when you're starting out, there's that balance between, okay, so I want to bring people in and I want to have viewers, but then when some viewers do come in that are a little bit more detrimental to your community or maybe even toxic, and you don't really want to like nix them because they're one of your only 5 viewers or whatever the case may be. Being willing to say, you know what, like, even though this may mean I have 0 people watching, I would rather have somebody come along that actually sees what my community should be, instead of me interacting with this guy just because, or this this person just because they're here, even if I don't agree with what they're doing or what they're trying to do. So I think setting up those firm boundaries up front is really important.
Oh, hands down. The way I look at it too, in regards to that too, is like, you got to look at it almost as if you're running a business, and that person is almost like an employee. Not to say not say they're employee, but I mean, it's like you said, would you want that person as an employee for you? Yeah, because they're part of your community, so they're like you said, they're a reflection of your business, of your brand, basically. So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I think and that's like, again, practice what you preach. I'm not always the best at that.
It's hard.
It is. And I'm a big believer in second chances. So I'm a big believer in, okay, maybe I can empathize with the best of them and I can rationalize with the best of them. Otherwise I wouldn't be good at my job.
Yeah.
But with that, so I'll give people a second chance. I'll say, okay, so, this person may be having a tough day, or maybe they're just frustrated with something in particular that has absolutely nothing to do with me, or whatever the case may be. So I'll give them another shot. Like, it's fine. We'll try it again another day and see how it goes. But if they continue to show me a pattern, then I'm like, all right, like we need to have a talk of either, look, if you want to be this way elsewhere, that's fine, but my stream, that stuff doesn't fly, or maybe this just isn't a good fit for you. Exactly.
Yeah. And you got to make that, you got to have that tough talk sometimes. And I mean, I've had it a few times with people, and sometimes it turned out well and they've come back and they're perfect. And other times they get a little upset and they might trash talk, but then they eventually fizzle away. And because as long as you're truly genuine, people are gonna know. They're gonna be like, okay, well, I don't see Mike or Funny acting like this at all, like you're saying, but okay then.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's what you pointed out is another big point. So even if you decide to take on kind of a persona when you stream, so especially the ones that like to do the characters and like to do things that they think will be entertaining. I think the other big mental health piece is like staying authentic, because if you don't do that, then there's this huge discord between, okay, so this is who I am, and now I have to keep up this persona online, and it's everywhere you go. Because if there's any discrepancy at all, people will be quick to point that out and call you out and be like, oh, well, you acted this way over here, and now you're saying this over here, and this isn't lining up, and it starts to damage things.
Exactly. And with social media nowadays, it's not.
Oh man,
it's not easy to keep up a fake persona. Like you're gonna get found out really quick.
Yeah, I mean, people are willing to dig through Twitter profiles 4 years ago to see what people have been tweeting out, and now people are having to like apologize and take down their profiles for it. So right, so it's like, okay, well, yeah, you definitely want to be consistent. So
yeah, exactly.
I think that's super important. I think the only other thing. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and again, I think that just comes back to being yourself. Unless you're upfront, like Dr. Disrespect, kind of like everyone knows that's his persona. He acts differently on stream, and he acts differently off stream, and he knows how to separate the line, and that's awesome. It works perfect for him. But if you go around acting like this persona 24/7, but it's not really you, you're gonna slip up and say something or do something, and it's gonna get found out. So you got to make sure if you are putting on an act, make sure you have that line, and make sure people know that, hey, this is my stream. This is stream Mystic Mike. This is off stream Mystic Mike.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you have to think about the effort that it takes to uphold that as well. It's like you're constantly, it's like, I mean, essentially it's like trying to keep up with all the lies that you tell.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, so I told everybody this, so now I have to do this. Just a random example, and then, we can definitely move on. I don't want to spend forever on this part, but, but I had a friend that when I first met him did like a British accent, and it was spot on too. Like, I mean, I was like, okay, so this dude's from overseas. Cool. But then one day he stopped randomly, and I was like, who's this? And so then he told me, he was like, oh no, that's something I'd just do to mess with people. And he would start doing it with everybody. But then it was one of those things where I was like, okay, this is just getting weird at this point. Like, what's the purpose? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And it was for no reason. It's like, man, trying to do that constantly would be exhausting.
Yeah. I couldn't do that. I mean, it's hard enough sometimes just to put on, like, cause I have PTSD. I'm pretty open about it. And I do have, social anxiety and, manic depressive disorder or something like that, or PDD. Yeah. And it's hard enough to, I mean, I'm used to it now. I've been doing it for 10 years, putting on like that, the mask as I like to tell my doctor all the time. But I feel like when I'm on the camera, I can be my true self. Yes. Opposed to once I'm off the camera, then that's when all my demons, I guess you could say, kind of take over. Yeah. And it's hard enough to do that, to fight that, let alone pretend to be British or pretend to be someone I'm not.
Right.
Like, I couldn't imagine.
No. And the sheer effort and willpower that would take is ridiculous. Yeah. So, I mean, kudos to the people that try it. Like, don't get me wrong. Cool. Like, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Yeah. But I think as far as like taking care of your mental health, not the best strategy.
No, not at all.
Yeah, you can definitely do it a little bit better. Yeah. Do it a little different way. I think the other thing is, so this is the big one where people are going to be like, oh, you don't do this. So the other one that really stands out to me is maintaining boundaries with yourself. Yeah. So especially in the sense of like time, because I think sometimes it's easy to get wrapped up in things, and it's easy to be like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to fight this one more boss, or I'm just going to do this one more thing. And, every once in a while, it's not a big deal, but sleep's important and rest is important. And again, I'm not the best showcase for this at all, but it is really important. And if you don't do that, it can lead to a lot of issues for sure. And then that's, you start out, I always talk to people about it, like recharging your batteries in the sense of like, okay, so if you put your phone on a charger and you only leave it on there for 20 minutes instead of the full, hour it would take as fast charge or whatever the case may be, then you start out at 70%. And then eventually you're going to get to the point where even if you put it on the charger for, those 20 minutes again, you're starting out your day at 50% instead. Yeah. And eventually your batteries are just going to run completely out and you're going to crash.
Yeah.
So
that's a good analogy. I haven't heard that one yet. That's a really good one.
Thanks. Yeah, it's taking recharging your batteries literally. So
Literally, yeah. No, I like that one.
Yeah.
I really, really do.
Yeah.
It puts it all into
Thanks.
perspective too, because I know like I have a really hard time sleeping at night. Like, I mean, I take medication for it and whatnot, and I'm trying to wean myself off it. But I found, like you said, it is definitely, if you don't get the full, and it's not even that you have to get the full 8 hours sleep. You have to get what your body requires.
Absolutely.
And for me, I found the best thing, I started doing sleep therapy, and where I would do, because I would get maybe in the past average 3-4 hours sleep broken all night. And so then what I started doing was, okay, well, I get up every day at 7:30. I would go to bed at like 3:00. And then that was my 4 hours, 4.5 hours that I would normally get. And then once I would sleep for that full 4.5 hours, then I'd go 2:30 and then 2, 1, 30, 1. And I kept kind of working my way back until I get a full 8 hours sleep. I mean, mind you, I usually only get about 7 hours because I find that's anything more than that, I crash anyway.
Absolutely.
Over too much sleep, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not any kind of like sleep expert or anything along those lines, but yeah, I mean, my experience has been that if eventually if you get too much sleep, then it's almost just as detrimental. So it's like, all right, well, gotta find that balance.
Oh yeah, and it's hard to find, but once you find it, I mean, mine get all screwed up again now because of the baby, but it's worth it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm a father as well, so it's my kid's almost 2.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I can relate.
Yeah,
I'm on that level.
Luckily, we've been pretty good so far. She's not colicky at all, and she sleeps
that's so good.
Almost all night. Like, I won't even lie. Like, she'll go to bed. I know we had a guy here today installing a water tank for us, or a tankless heater, and he has a 2-year-old as well, and he's like, man, how is it? I'm like honestly, I was like, for example, last night she laid down at about 11 o'clock and she didn't get up till, I think I brought her upstairs to my wife to be fed at about 6 a.m. this morning. And
that's gorgeous.
Yeah, and then two or 3 days ago, I had to wake her up at 8:30 because I'm like, okay, you need to get up and feed now. Like, you've been sleeping since like 11 o'clock the night before. And he's like, looked at me and he's like, man, my baby still was so colicky. She was up all night. Like, we got no sleep. I'm like, I don't know. I was like, we've been really lucky.
How do I get one of those?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's maybe because she's a preemie. Maybe that's why she was sleep. She just needed the rest more to fully develop. I don't know.
Could be. Yeah, I mean, it could be a lot of things. Who knows? I mean, it could just be your natural inclination. It could be anything.
Could be anything, yeah. But knock on wood, it stays like that for at least another 2 years.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
So back to some streaming stuff. What games are you currently playing on stream?
So I always, well, I say always, I typically try to do like a friend stream on Thursdays where I play with friends. So I only stream 2 days. So on Thursdays I'll do what we call Thirsty Thursdays, and we'll play like a battle royale. So typically PUBG if I get the opportunity. And if not, then we'll try something else. Like last time we did Apex because PUBG had to update like midway through the stream. It's like, screw you guys.
Of course. That's the way it always is.
Right. So we typically try to do that. And then here recently, and I guarantee I'm mispronouncing this, but I call it Sekiro.
Oh yeah. I know what you mean. The samurai one there.
Yeah. So, and I'm a big fan of Dark Souls. And
I don't even want to talk about that one.
So, and it's in its most basic components, it's similar to Dark Souls, but it's also very, very different in like what they expect you to do and how they want you to fight and win.
Yeah.
So it's been a really nice, cool new challenge that can be rage-inducing at times, but I definitely thoroughly enjoy it.
Oh man, Dark Souls! The first one, I just played it for the first time like last summer when they remastered it, when they dropped the remaster, and
yes,
I haven't been able to get past. I got past the part where you fight the Cerberus after you get through the gate, and ever since then, I have not been able to get any further. I'm like, I'm just lost. I don't know where to go. I got the first bell. That's what I got. I got the first bell, and I have no idea what I'm doing next. Like, I don't know if I rushed through it. Every time I go to the graveyard part, I just get wiped out right away. Like, I can't go any further. And it just drives me nuts.
Yeah, that graveyard's brutal. Yeah, so without turning this into like a walkthrough, the important thing that I would tell you with that is that a lot of those enemies keep coming back, and that's until you progress to a certain point and you kill a certain enemy. So once you do that, they stop coming back and they actually like stay dead. So, or you can, the other piece. So what? So I'll say his name just because my friend Pobser. So he's really good at Dark Souls, and he calls it strategy 42, where basically you just run past everything. Like, just run past everything, get to the boss, do what you need to do, fight him, move on. That's his favorite way to play it.
I should try that.
Some people like that. Yeah, some people like it, some people don't. But yeah.
I get so caught up in games like that where I'm like, I need to get every little thing, kill every little mob. But
absolutely.
At the same time, I guess I don't really need to.
No, technically speaking, you don't. And I mean, there's a lot of bosses that you can skip as well. So there's a lot of different ways to be able to play those games, which is part of why I like them so much.
Yeah.
Because even though it's technically you're playing the same game, the same story, doing the same thing, playing it in a different way and using different strategies is really cool to me, just because I enjoy the game mechanics in general. And so being able to replay it in a different way.
I did really like the mechanics, and I liked how it played and handled. It's just, it's so like rage-inducing that I had to stop playing it.
Yeah.
But I'd like to start again, because I bought all 3 of them, because when I started playing it, I was like, oh, I really like this. Oh, they're on sale. I'm going to buy all of them. And then I'm like, haven't touched it since. And I'm like, and every time my buddy of mine, Xenoblade, brings it up, he's like, oh, have you got done the second one yet? I'll help you with it. I'm like, I haven't got past the first one. Don't talk to me. Leave me alone.
Way to rub it in, jerk.
Yeah, really. But he's played through them. He's kind of like your buddy. He's played through all of them like multiple times. Like, he'll just sit down one month, he'll disappear for a few days, and you're like, where are you? Where are you? Oh, I was just finishing Dark Souls 3. It's like, oh man, again?
Right. But once and me and my buddy, so Pobser, he and I we're not speedrunners, so we've designed our own little competition where essentially I call it an efficiency run, where we've assigned point values to each of the bosses. Yeah. And we've assigned point values for different actions within the game. And so we'll do a race essentially where we try to get the most points possible, and whoever gets the most points wins the race or whatever. So like we typically play it at least once a year, or at least try to. So it's not quite like your buddy, but it's similar.
Similar. Now, would you guys do that on a co-stream side by side? That'd be kind of cool to watch. You guys both go the same route and everything.
Yes and no. It depends. So hence why it's not necessarily a speed run, because we're not interested in beating the game as quickly as possible, because it's not us. It's not really what we do. Yeah. So what we try to do instead is, because I stream straight through my console. He has the capture card, the OBS, that whole setup. So what he does is he captures my gameplay from Mixer and puts it in a window on his stream.
Oh, okay.
Because he streams through Twitch.
Yep. Oh, okay.
So he captures that, and that way people can see what I'm doing through his stream. But we can't co-stream just because technology.
Yeah. Now I know Twitch is trying out co-streaming right now with partners, I believe.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Because I know I was talking to another Twitch affiliate not too long ago, and that's what they were telling me, and it's kind of cool that they're bringing it over there as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's I love Twitch as a platform. I didn't leave it because I hate it, and I'm not necessarily forever done with it either. My I've got a PS4, and because I stream through console, the only thing that works with PS4 is Twitch. Yeah. So I still stream on there on occasion, but it's definitely not the same. And it's I've been focusing all of my efforts on Mixer, so I do still have people that'll show up, which makes me feel amazing because I'm like, hey, yo, you all still showed up. But yeah, it's definitely it's a good platform in its own way. But
Yeah.
I do think I like the direction that Mixer's moving.
Yeah, same here. And I like I started doing a couple little restreams on Twitch just to try it out.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I figure if I'm going to be talking to people from Twitch, I should at least have a little bit of knowledge of it. And I do like how they do their whole like progression thing where you unlock. I mean, as meaningless as it is, it's so kind of cool to get those achievements. Like, oh, you streamed for 8 hours this week. Congratulations!
Yeah,
like, it's just kind of cool to get, even though it doesn't really mean anything down the road.
Yeah,
but it's still kind of neat to have those progressions.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it gives I think it's kind of a cool way to give people an idea of like, hey, these are the things that you could do to spice up your stream, or these are the things that we're looking for in a partner, or whatever the case may be. So I think that's a really cool system to do that.
Oh, exactly. And I know Mixer now, they just released the full release, I believe. I know on desktop anyway, their progression system now for viewers, which is kind of cool because you can get, I think, get up to level 99 is the max, I think, at the moment.
Okay.
But you get like cool little badges and stuff like that beside your name, like to show your level. And they fully released it today at like 2 in the afternoon, I believe it was, or 3 my time, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I got an email about that recently. I want to say it was yesterday or day before, talking about like viewer progression. Yeah,
and it's really cool because they give I don't know if everyone can do it, but I know partners, they gave us the ability to give people hearts, is what they're calling it, to help them level up quicker, or if they do, or we can do like a giveaway and be like, all right, this is for 5,000 hearts or whatever, and then you get so many hearts and then it levels you up, which is kind of cool. Now I don't know, I don't, they haven't told us if it's available for everyone to do that, but I know for us they told us we could use those commands.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's a way. It's for people that are interested in doing the status and interested in doing those things, it's a cool way for you to reward people immediately without it having to be some like big deal, or okay, well, I'm going to spend a bunch of money to do this or whatever. And it's actually, I find it a little bit more meaningful because it's very personal.
Well,
and
exactly.
It's specifically your stuff, which is cool.
Yeah, and it's good too for people like, say, like yourself, who streams right from Xbox, who might not have a bot running. A lot of people use the bots to do the whole rank system and keep track and show loyalty. Well, now it's built right into the platform, so people just by watching you gain levels. Like, and it's not slow. Like, I've been watching Michelle since she went live. Well, I turned it off now, obviously, but I was watching her before I called you, and I'm already at like level 10, I think it was. Okay. I mean, she's only been live for, I think she went live at 6:30ish, 6 maybe.
Okay.
So, and in about an hour's time, I went up 10 levels. Like, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Yeah, and then you get, for the more you chat, you get more hearts, as they call it. If you sub to someone, you get hearts. Host, you get 100 hearts, I think. Like, so you get there's different values to different actions you take. So it's a way to make viewers participate more, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's again, I listen to a lot of different podcasts, but one of the ones that was talking about kind of like the state of streaming and the way that things have changed. Typically speaking, now lurking is a lot more of the norm than active chatting is, which is cool in some ways, but it's also kind of weird as the streamer, because you're like, okay, well, like, I do this to interact with people. Yeah. Even though you appreciate the support and you're very thankful for it, and I appreciate anybody that's willing to visit the stream, much less actually like drop a lurk and help boost the numbers and all that stuff. Like that feels great. Yeah. But the other piece of it is I do this to meet people and to hang out and do fun things.
Oh, exactly. So,
it's like, okay.
Like, it's one thing to, and it's like you said, lurkers are appreciated at 100%, because I understand some people might be just at work and they can't chat, but they can at least, they might have one earbud in and they're listening while they're doing their work. They might not even be physically watching, they're just listening to the content, which is cool. I appreciate that a lot. But then you do get like the people that are just, they open like 500 tabs and then they walk away, and they're probably only doing it to get points or get sparks or whatever.
Yeah, well, so I have a friend that lurks in all kinds of channels, and she does it mainly to support other people,
Yeah.
just so that that way they can get their numbers boosted, and she wants to be supported. But she definitely wants this stream, to be the priority stream today, and then tomorrow she'll rotate it and do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so there's definitely a lot of different approaches, and again, any support is always appreciated, because that at least that shows that you care.
Oh, 100%. And I kind of do the same thing too. Like I kind of go through everyone who's streaming and look at all their schedules and go, oh, okay, I really want to watch this person this week. But at the same time, I might have like 3 other people open and have them mute it, but watching them. And then if I see something funny, then I might comment, or if I see someone jump into the chat that I recognize, I'll be like, hey, how's it going? And then I'll unmute for a few minutes and then do my thing. But it's like, it's almost like there's a schedule for streaming and there's a schedule for watching streams.
Yeah, it gets really complicated when you got to start pulling out like the Alan meme from The Hangover and start doing all the calculations and stuff. It's like, whoa, dude, calm it down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, is there any games that you don't stream that you just like, it's your like guilty pleasure that you're going to play offline only?
That's a good question. I can't think of any in particular. Typically speaking, I want to stream all the games that I play, just because the majority of it is just me being able to hang out with people. And I know that one of the other questions that you ask a bunch is like, why do you stream, or what gets you into streaming, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I love sharing those moments with people, where you do something cool in the game, or something exciting happens or whatever, and you can be like, yo, did you see that? Like, that was so cool. I love being able to do that kind of stuff. And so typically speaking, I try to play, or I try to stream every game that I would play.
Yeah.
And I can't really think of any off the top of my head where I'm like, I don't really play that. It's like, I may play Red Dead right now off stream and try and level things up, and like finish side quests and that kind of stuff.
Do all the small stuff, boring
but
stuff.
Then I end up streaming it. Yeah. So, no, I can't say there are too many. That is a good question, though. I never even really considered that.
Because I know for me, like I play a lot of World of Warcraft offline, just because it's my guilty. I've been playing it since vanilla, and it's just my guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
I know I recently played We Happy Few on stream, but I found it just wasn't. I don't know. It just wasn't something I'll probably stream again, because I found I couldn't get into it on stream. I found myself focusing too much on the game, and it was taking away from the being interactive. Which again, like you said, like for me, I stream to be interactive. Like I want to talk to people. I want to make those. I want to have that social connection that I don't get because I don't leave the house very often. So that's my way to get my social connection. So when I'm playing a game that I'm like too focused on, I'm like, I can't stream this, because it defeats the whole purpose of me streaming.
Right. Yeah. Why stream this if I'm purely going to focus on the game, and then every once in a while I'll look up and be like, oh, hey, you guys are still here, right?
Yeah. Oh, darn. Oh, sorry, I missed your question 5 minutes. Oh, you left the chat anyways. Okay.
Right.
My bad.
Yeah, that's the worst. Yeah. That's the worst.
I feel so guilty.
Well, and so, perfect example of that. Last night, I was streaming Sekiro, and I apologize if I'm butchering that name, by the way, for anybody that cares, because I'm not 100% sure. I would need to hear it said by somebody that like developed it.
It sounds right to me. I don't know, Sekiro.
Yeah, it could be Sekiro, or it could be Sekiro, or it could be something else completely. That I'm just, too dumb an American to pronounce correctly. But yeah, so somebody had asked me a question while I was fighting a big boss, and I was like super in focus mode, and I was trying to like, I always have my chat tab up on my display while I'm playing.
Yeah.
I'll have it like down in the bottom middle when I'm playing Sekiro. So like usually when somebody asks me a question, I'll do my best to answer it immediately, because that way if people keep chatting, then I can keep interacting with them and I don't miss much without having to look away from the fight. But sometimes there are those moments where you get really into it and you have 2 or 3 people say something, and that moves the question up in the chat. Miss that. Then 5 minutes later, that person's gone because you probably aren't like interactive. It's like, well, that's a missed opportunity, but hopefully they'll come back.
Exactly. That's where sometimes it comes, like having good mods come in handy, because then they can answer the question, or just be like, oh, he's in extreme focus mode right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait a few minutes or wait a few seconds.
Yeah. Hey, he didn't get a chance to answer that because he was in the middle of getting his ass kicked. But now that he's done, like, ask your question again.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I know I've seen that sometimes where I've missed questions, and all of a sudden I'm getting like pinged like 3 times, and I'm like, well, what's going on here? And then it'd be like, look down. I'm like, okay, look down. Oh, my bad. So sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel the worst though is when someone comes in and says hello, and you totally miss it because even the chat's going, and then you see them talking all of a sudden, and you're like, oh, hey, I didn't know you were here. And they're like, I said hello like 5 minutes ago. Ooh, sorry.
Yeah,
my bad. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you have any pre-stream rituals before you hit live? Like, do you sit there and pump off some push-ups, squats, or do you just turn the game on, hit the broadcast button, and go?
No, so typically, well, I guess you could say I do. So I stay ridiculously busy outside of stream, and so I don't necessarily have any particular thing that I do. But typically speaking, if I'm not streaming or if I'm not on some form of like social media or Mixer or whatever the case may be, I'm usually spending time with my family. And so I'll be hanging out with my wife watching a show, or I'll be helping put the kid to bed, or whatever the case may be. And so sometimes, just taking some time to watch a show or watch a quick movie or whatever is usually kind of what I need to kind of unwind before I start getting into the headspace of, okay, like I'm about to, even though it's not necessarily anything overly taxing, it's like, okay, I need to kind of get into performance mode a little bit and get into like that right mindset of, okay, so I'm going to be interacting with people on a pretty high level now. Even if, I don't pretend to act like I have some sort of huge, super chatty community where I never get a minute or what. Still relatively small on Mixer, but I do get into that mindset because I need to prepare for that.
Oh, exactly. It's like we always tell people, like, whether you have 0 viewers or 1,000 viewers, act like there's always 1 million viewers. Like, just
absolutely
always be talking, always be chatting.
Absolutely, and it's and that's one thing that gets overlooked quite a bit. When people are talking about streaming and stuff, it's like, oh, well, I could easily just turn on the camera and I could easily just play games and I could do this so much better. And it's like, okay, well, while you may think that, and that's great that you've got confidence in yourself, it takes quite a bit to make conversation out of nothing.
It does,
and
a lot,
and it's a skill you've really got to cultivate.
Yeah, I mean, when I started, I had a hard time. Because, like you said, when you don't have anyone there, you're like, what do I talk about? Like, do I just talk to myself? Or so a lot of times I didn't know what to do. And then I don't know if you've ever watched NK Woe.
No, I don't know them.
NK's an amazing dude. Like, he's the most humble, down to earth. Like, I met him like a week before he got partnered, and that was like about a week after I started streaming. And he I like to say he took me under his wing a little bit, and he like helped me a lot. Like, he would sit in my chat while he was at work, and he would just whisper me and be like, okay, well, try this now, do this now. Just describe what you're doing. Just read every single note, every single thing. And I'm like, okay. So then I got in the habit of doing that. And I would even get to the point where I would practice when I wasn't streaming. So I'd be sitting on the couch playing a game, and I'd just be talking out loud. And my wife is like, what are you doing? I'm like, I know it sounds really weird right now, but I'm training, I'm practicing. And at the when I first started, she's like, has that mentality, like, kind of like, oh, well, why? All you're doing is playing a video game. How hard is that? I'm like, I'm not just playing a video game. I wish it was that easy.
Yep.
And I tell people that, I'm like, throw a teddy bear in front of your camera. Because I did that for a while. I took one of my son's little plushies, and I still have it beside me all the time. It's my little ghast, I think it's called, from Minecraft. And I used to put him right beside the camera, or a little bit behind it, and I would talk to it. And people thought I was weird. I'm like, it helps because it gives me something to look at, have that conversation to.
Yes. Yeah, that's one thing that I've been working on a little bit, is like making eye with the camera a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I've got it like, it's not necessarily super far away from my screen, as far as like where my eyes look, but it is just far enough away that people can tell.
Yeah.
And so it's like I do focus on that a little bit more. But I mean, what you're talking about is 100% accurate, and that's it's funny because I've actually I've done that for some of my friends as well, where I'm like, hey, look, I don't pretend to be the best streamer by any stretch of the imagination, but I do know what has helped make people successful, and like learning how, okay, so now I need to be focusing on this, or I at least need to make a conversation about this, or I can make a comment about this, or whatever the case may be. And the thing that I always tell people is like, okay, so if you are scrolling through Mixer or Twitch, whatever, Facebook Live, and you're looking for somebody to watch, are you looking for somebody that's just sitting there and may or may not be enjoying the game? Or are you looking for somebody that's engaging? Exactly. And if you're looking, when you do that, when you mouse over it, you don't even click on it, but when you just mouse over it and you see that they're talking to somebody or something, it immediately makes you want to click on that more than somebody that's just sitting there, even especially if they're loving the game.
Yeah, especially if they're doing something weird in that like 5-second clip Mixer previews. And you're like, you're even more so, you're like, what is going on here? I need to click on this and see. Absolutely. Rather than someone who's just sitting there and you're like, is the clip moving? Has it started? What's going on?
This intermission stream's been going on for a little bit. Like,
exactly. And another good thing I tell people too is watch your VODs. Watch the first 20, the middle 20, and the last 20. See how your energy changes. And then ask yourself, if this wasn't me, would I want to watch this stream?
Absolutely.
Because then it gives you points to work on for your next stream, really.
Absolutely. Well, it's, we're our own worst critics always. And so we're going to be a lot harsher on ourselves than other people would be. So if you continue to focus on that and improve yourself, then you really can't go wrong. No, exactly.
A few more questions here. What are some, these ones are kind of an off stream related now. We'll kind of have some fun ones. What are some of your off stream hobbies and how did you get into them?
So I don't necessarily have a whole lot of hobbies off streaming per se. Some things that I enjoy though, like I grew up as an athlete, and I was really big into basically anything with a ball I could probably do. And if you give me enough time, I could do it relatively well. It's just, I hit the lottery when it comes to the genes on that one. But so I play a lot of sand volleyball right now, and I really enjoy that. I got into that like 5 years ago, I think. Just playing a random team for my company, and then one thing led to another, and I kept playing, and I found out that I really enjoy it, which I was not expecting. Like, I'd watch it on the Olympics every once in a while and be like, holy crap, these people are awesome. Yeah. I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. Why not? So I do that. I enjoy that quite a bit.
Do like a little beer league or a little like toonie league kind of thing?
Yes and no. So I play a couple different nights. So I play in what would be considered, they call it a C league, which would be competitive. But the league that I played in tonight is more of like E league, which is more of like the rec league, beer league kind of thing. And then on Monday nights I play in a C plus, which is quite a bit more competitive. It's definitely not the highest level of competition and skill that you're going to see, but it's definitely higher intensity than a beer league. Yeah.
Kind of cool. I used to do like something like that too when I was in, I think I was in college. We'd meet up every like Tuesday, Wednesday, pay $2 and just get together with a bunch of people that would play. And a lot of them were there just to practice for their like CBA leagues and stuff like that. But for me, it was just a night out having fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm one of those people that like I'm constantly absorbing new knowledge, even if and so a lot of the times I'll stay after my game and I'll just I'll cool off and relax or whatever. And I found that I've become a little bit more of a student of the game. Yeah. And so I'll end up watching a lot of those like high B level players playing in that, like the place I play has quads leagues where you get some people that are like college coaches and stuff that'll play against each other, and it's like,
Oh, wow.
holy crap, they get intense. So watching them and kind of learning from what they do, and that kind of stuff. I enjoy that. I find it interesting.
Oh, it's always fun to watch. Especially, it's always fun to watch someone who knows 100% what they're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or at least they're very good at acting like it.
Yeah, we're very good at acting like it. Yeah. Because I mean, I know what I'm doing, but it's a matter of implementing it and doing it is another thing. It's one thing to lay there and go, oh, I could easily do that, and then try to do it.
No, sir. Fall flat on my face, and that is a no-go.
Yeah, hit someone in the face with the ball.
Yeah. Calm it down, Fokker.
Yeah. I did that once playing volleyball with it was this girl I was dating at the time, and I think it was like our second date, and I was like, hey, do you want to come to this rec league with me? Every Tuesday night we play volleyball, and she's like, yeah, sure. So she comes, and then she ended up going on the other teams the way that everything worked out. And I have a really good, I don't know if I do anymore, but back then I had a really good serve where I could just get it over the net and have it kind of do a backspin and come down hard. And I hit it, I did it, and she was the one going up to block it, put her hands up, but it went right between her hands and just boom, smashed her in the face, put her down on the ground. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, second date. I'm pretty sure I've never seen this girl again.
Yep, that one's done.
It gave us a good story for a while. I mean, we dated for, I think, another 5-6 months after, but it was always a fun story to tell everyone, but I don't think she enjoyed it at the time.
Absolutely. I hit her in the face with a volleyball once. Did y'all know that?
Yeah. Gave her a black eye and everything.
It's always a good icebreaker.
Yeah. Next question. If I was to ask you at age 5 what you wanted to be when you grew up, what would you have said?
I'm definitely going to have to be a little... what's it called? Where I'd give the same answer everybody else does.
Firefighter.
Yeah. No. Major League Baseball player.
Oh, no. I think that's the first one. I had someone say football.
I think Mossy said baseball. I could be wrong. No, maybe not Mossy.
Maybe someone did say baseball. Yeah, I can't remember. Might have been SC. Could have been SC Gaming, yeah. Because one other person said a sports. And one other person said football, which was just recent. I don't know if that one's aired yet, though.
Cliche. That's the word. Cliche.
Cliche, yeah.
I'm going to go cliche and say Major League Baseball player, hands down.
Hands down. What's your team?
Well, I don't really follow it too much anymore. If I were going to pick a team, I would say either the Red Sox or the Reds. Reds because they're the hometown team.
Yeah.
And Red Sox just because I ended up following them at some point and I never really stopped.
I gotcha.
But like when I was younger, I was a big fan of Ken Griffey, and he was my boy. Like I was all about some Ken Griffey. I got one of his jerseys and stuff. Like I still have it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I like them, and I like the majority of the Braves squad when it was like Chipper and Greg Maddux and all those guys. So John Smoltz. I followed them for a little while too.
Yeah, I haven't followed baseball since the 90s when the Blue Jays won back-to-back World Series. And
respect. Well, I can understand why you do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only team we have in Canada. So, well, I mean, we did Expos for a while, but they didn't really do much. So,
yeah, they kind of faded out a little bit.
Yeah. Although it's funny because they would have won the World Series. Well, they were projected to win the World Series the year that the league went on strike. And then the next year they folded and went to Washington.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah. Everyone was like, oh, it was fixed. They wanted to get rid of the Canadian teams. Like, no. It's just the players wanted more money. Like, come on. Yeah. It wasn't the league's decision to go on strike.
Right. They weren't like, hey, guys, you should go on strike today. Like, I'm pretty sure that was not in the game plan.
We want to lose lots of TV advertising money stuff. Just because we want to get rid of Montreal.
Right.
Oh. No. A couple funny ones now, or a couple fun ones, I should say. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh God. I've always got a different answer for this one. Changes all the time. So I think it would be to take away pain. I'm not sure what I would do with it. But I think I would take away pain just because I think my job is kind of like done that where I'm like, if I could take a magic wand and just wave it over all of this stuff and have you feel better and have you deal with this crap anymore, I would totally do that.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what my superpower would be taking away pain.
That'd be awesome. It would be so helpful for so many people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I like that answer.
Thanks.
Next one, if a genie was to grant you 3 wishes, what would you wish for and why?
Oh God.
Everyone gets stuck on the second one.
I don't even know. I think the first one would be be debt free. That'd be my first wish for sure. So, house paid off, car paid off, all that good stuff. Because I don't really I enjoy material things, but I don't feel the need to have a bunch of stuff. I just want to be able to live comfortably.
Yeah.
So
be financially stable.
Give me some creature comforts, my Xbox, a decent stream setup, that kind of stuff. And I could do that if I was debt free. So being debt free would probably be the first wish. Be my selfish one. Well, and partially selfish because then I could help out other people too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the other wishes would probably end up being some cliche stuff like, world peace and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything in particular that's oh, that would be a great wish.
Well, really, I mean, if you're financially stable and you're able to do anything else you really want to.
Yeah.
So,
that's kind of
yeah.
That's kind of the way I look at it. I'm like, that's kind of a fix all almost, at least from my end of things.
Yeah. I think for most, I mean, if you're financially stable, if you got a steady income, you got no debt, no major bills, bills are paid every month. And then what else? I mean, good health, I guess.
Yeah, definitely good health. Good health for me and my family, for sure. Yeah. Lack of doctor's visits unless we just want to go. That would be.
Yeah, just for fun.
Yeah, just to get my checkup and know how awesome I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. Just to rub it into the doctor. I'm just here for my yearly checkup. We know you're good. Yeah, I know, but I still want I still want to be checked.
Insurance says I need to, and frankly, I just like seeing the results. So
exactly.
Yeah, I love absolutely. That. So good health for sure.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and after that, there's really not much else you need. Financial stability, good health for you and your family.
Yeah, I think definitely just in line with the taking away pain thing, just have it. It doesn't even have to be world peace, but everybody just kind of chill out a little bit, maybe. Take away the ability to do anything super serious as far as that's concerned.
Yeah,
if people want to fight in the streets or whatever, that's cool. Just keep it in check. Everybody needs a good fight every once in a while, I guess.
Oh yeah.
But, especially if you like hockey,
oh yeah, I like hockey just a little.
Exactly. So you need a little fight here and there or whatever, but take away the ability to actually kill somebody, maybe that'd be good.
Yeah, give everyone the ability to. I mean, it's like you said, sometimes you just gotta square off with someone. But then I remember back in the old days, you square off. You get your winner, and then you guys go out and you have fun afterwards. You're best buddies afterwards. Not anymore now. Someone gets beaten, they're like, all right, I'm calling my big brother or my 15 friends. Right. And you get your 15 friends, and then it's going to be a big brawl, and then you don't accomplish anything.
Right, yeah. And then, it's not problem solving anymore. It's not seen as a rite of passage kind of thing anymore. It's oh, okay, well.
It's more of an ego thing now.
Yeah.
Which
There's
is
a lot
sad.
of fragile egos out there.
Yeah. Last question. It's kind of a two-parter. What would you consider to be your deepest fear, and what would you consider to be your most irrational fear?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good twist. So I think probably I'm gonna have to channel I don't know if you're familiar with Gary V.
No,
but I'd have to. So Gary Vaynerchuk, he's freaking amazing. I highly recommend checking him out at some point. He's ridiculously motivational, and I mean he's just real. He's about as real as you can get.
It's Vaynerchuk.
Yeah, Gary Vaynerchuk, VayNer. I want to say CHUCK, but I could be completely wrong on that. Sorry, Gary V. He just goes by Gary V. Gary VE is what he goes by.
Oh, okay.
But I absolutely love his content. And I love his stuff.
Okay, I'll have to look him up after.
Yeah, but he's I think I would have to channel my inner Gary Vee, and my biggest fear would be like not leaving behind a good legacy, I guess.
Yeah.
So, feeling like I've lived a life that wasn't meaningful or
purposeful.
Didn't leave some sort of positive impact on the world. So I don't want some kind of like crazy legacy where, oh, well, he accomplished all these great things and, but he was a selfish asshole or whatever. I'm not trying to go for that kind of thing, but more of like that dude really knew what was up and helped out the world in some super meaningful way. Even if it was something small, like it was still helpful and meaningful. And so I think if I wasn't able to truly say that to myself and kind of leave that legacy behind, that'd probably be my biggest fear.
No, and I think that a lot of people feel that way, even though they might not say it. But I think everyone wants to leave a little something, like some sort of impact on the world.
Yeah.
Whether it be something as simple as just passing on good manners to your child and then them carrying it on. Like, I mean, it could be something small like that, like you said, or something huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, again, that's part of what kind of drove me to be a mental health therapist. I definitely believe in that kind of ripple effect, and that, if you help change one person's life, then that helps impact another person's life. And eventually, the world has been impacted in some positive way. And, even if it takes a long time to make it happen. So that's kind of what drives that, I guess. Biggest irrational fear.
I've heard some good ones.
That one's really good. Sorry, I'm a little bit more delayed on that one. I'm trying to think. I'm not, I don't have a huge fear of spiders or snakes or any of that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not a huge fan of them, but I'm not super scared of them.
No, yeah. I think the best one I've heard so far is getting kicked by a horse. Like, how often are you around horses to get kicked by a horse?
That's a good one. Yeah. Honestly, I've never done it. And it's not because of this, but I think one of my biggest irrational fears would be to be bungee jumping and have my line.
Yeah. I think that's the only thing that keeps me from bungee jumping is just that thought.
Yeah. I've never bungee jumped. I think it'd be pretty cool. I've never done it, but that's definitely one where I'm like, oh God, I'm really not trying to have that happen. Like the sheer thought of that just does not feel good.
No, not at all. And that's the thing. That's one thing that scares me is because I've seen videos where they've hit the water and smashed their face, and I'm like, man. But it's like I've jumped out of planes, I've rappelled out of helicopters. I've done all this.
That's the most extreme stuff you can do.
Yeah, but bungee jumping, I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know about this one.
Yeah, I'll pass on that. Thank you very much. Someday, maybe.
Almost got nipped by the helicopter blades, but that stupid bungee cord, man. Well,
it's the thing. We seen a guy. He fast roped out of a chopper. It was only 100 feet up, which it's still 100 feet up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hold on.
Yeah, and he ended up coming down, and the rope came out too quick, and he ended up falling and breaking his leg. And then it's everyone's like, oh, that sucks, blah blah blah. Help him, da da da. And it's didn't even faze me. I'm like, okay, let's go do this now. It's but I'm afraid of watching a video on YouTube of someone smashing their face off the water, and I'm like, no way, you're not getting me to do that. Even though I saw a guy break his leg. Okay.
Yeah. Didn't you see that? Did we not watch the same video?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's pretty much all the questions I really have. We hit pretty much all the points I do have normally as well, which is awesome. I love when it goes that way. Thank you very much for being on. What I'll get you to do now is plug yourself, drop any of your links, whatever you want to share, Twitch, Mixer, Twitter, Insta, any of that. I'll get them from you as well, so I can link them in the description.
Yeah, that sounds good. So it's Aren't You Funny, but it's not the word you, it's the letter U. So that's the important thing to remember here. So it's ArentUFunny. And so you can find me at Aren't You Funny at Mixer and Twitter. And then I had to mix it up a little bit on Instagram because I made a boo-boo. But it's Aren't You Funny TV on Instagram.
On Instagram, okay.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. Anything else? I'm technically on YouTube, but let's be honest, I'm not really present there. I use it. It's kind of like a graveyard for videos and stuff.
I think that's what a lot of streamers use it for the most part.
Yeah. Like
Unless that's their main platform.
A lot more. Yeah. I should probably do more with it, but I don't. Yeah. So I'm mostly active on Twitter and Instagram.
Okay. Too easy.
And Facebook.
Oh, and Facebook. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah. If you were to search "Aren't You Funny" on Facebook, I hate that they call it a fan page because it makes me sound like I got a huge ego. But I do have like the fan page or whatever where you can interact with me on that as well. And that's if you just Google on Facebook "Aren't You Funny," you can find me.
I didn't know you could make a fan page. I made like a business page for mine, and like, people message me all the time. And they're like, "What do you sell?" I'm like, "I don't sell anything." I sell clothes. You want to buy some of my clothes?
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much it. And I'm like, it says right in the description, I'm a streamer.
Yeah.
We don't really sell much. But then again, sometimes I think they're just hitting those automated buttons to spam me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I had one day and it's like, what are your hours? Hi, how are you? What are you doing today? And I'm like, what is all these, like 5 messages in a row? Oh man, I've had someone ask me for that before on stream.
Nice.
Yeah, oh yeah. That was like awesome. 2 months into streaming and I'm like, really? I'm like, and he's like, oh, donate $100. I'm like, you donate the $100 first and then I'll think about it.
Right. Give me some collateral and I'll consider it.
And then I'll consider, yeah. But then that crosses a whole like moral error where it's like,
oh yeah,
her integrity, like, I wouldn't be a very good person if I just kept the money. But at the same time, I'm not going to show you my feet. No,
I'm not selling out, bro.
Yeah,
you can't make me.
No, exactly. But yeah, again, thank you very much. Funny, it was awesome talking to you. It was
absolutely
a pleasure, man. I really loved it.
Yeah, I'm thrilled that you had me on, so I appreciate it.
Not a problem. I'll probably have you on again too. I'll talk to you a little bit after the show, and we have a few ideas. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to check Aren't You Funny out at Mixer, Twitch, or no, Twitter, Twitch if you want.
Yeah.
But you don't really stream on Twitch anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you can check out Twitch if you want to, but it's pretty dead.
Yeah. So check them out on Mixer. Later, guys. Peace and love. This concludes another episode of Behind the BS, Behind the Broadcasting Software. Please like and subscribe to be notified when the next episode drops. To find out how you could become a guest on Behind the BS, please email info@behindthebs.net or follow us on Twitter at behind_BS. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Peace and love.